Hello and welcome to the Healing Sexual Trauma Summit. I'm Marcy Little, your host, and today we have Mangala Holland with us. Mangala, welcome.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you for having me on.
Before I tell you more about Mangala, and you're going to want to know about her, let's just take a moment to center ourselves and get into this moment a little bit, maybe into our bodies. And if closing your eyes feels good to you, feel free to close your eyes or just lower your eyelids. And if you're seated on something, just notice the sensation of your body in contact with whatever you're sitting on, and your feet. And take a moment to just notice your breath. And just letting yourself really settle here into this moment. Taking a body scan and noticing if there's any kind of tightness or resistance. And I welcome all participants at any time if you notice yourself starting to feel tightness, or your breath gets shallow, or you just feel a little overwhelmed, hit the pause button and give yourself a break. Get up and walk around, shake out your hands, make a sound, come back when you're ready. And one more thing, and you can open your eyes if you'd like for this, but we had a dear member of our family pass away yesterday. Her name is Liana White, and I'm just bringing her into this space since we're holding space for ourselves and each other. We'll hold space for Liana too. Okay, thank you. So Mangala, am I saying your name right?
You are, yeah.
It's such an original name.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to read, that's why I put my glasses on. Mangala is a women's empowerment and sexuality coach and facilitator of global group programs. She's on a mission to help pussy owners become empowered through loving themselves fiercely, celebrating their sexuality, and overcoming the fear, guilt, and shame that keeps them playing small. Having over a decade's experience in the industry, her superpower is helping female-bodied folks become deeply connected to their body, pleasure, and orgasmic confidence, which is the natural birthright of everyone. She's currently training the next generation of embodied female pleasure facilitators and places a strong emphasis on self-love, embodiment, and empowerment in her work, teaching a no bullshit, fluff-free, grounded, dogma-free style. Great. How did that land? Do you have anything else you want to tell us about yourself?
I mean, there's so much, and it's like, where do I begin? Firstly, I want to thank you for that beautiful grounding, and I think it is so important when we're talking about this work to give people that opportunity to be in the body and to center yourself first. You know, it's especially given the topic of the series, that it's absolutely more crucial. And I also want to acknowledge, I just want to acknowledge you for showing up today, given everything that's going on, and keeping it real as well, which I think is really important. So I'm sure more about me will come out in our conversation. Just a little bit I would add is I have recently returned to the UK after being away for 12 years. And went on a huge journey of my own exploration. I left my corporate life behind. In my old life, I was a DJ as well as being in the corporate world, and I burnt out. So I went off on this exploration and discovered yoga and tantra and sexual healing, and dived into this world. And interestingly, life has brought me back to my roots, and it's been a really profound experience, and like reclaiming all the parts of me that I tried to let go of, that I neglected, the parts I disowned. It's like I feel like I've come kind of full circle in many ways,
Like they were all there waiting for you to come home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, and maybe with some more skills and wisdom and practices to be able to do with them differently.
Yeah, definitely. And where I see, like when I look at the healing journey I've been on, I've had my own experiences with trauma, and I was in a violent relationship at one point, and there were lots of things in my teenage years that were very unpleasant. And so to come back and like not run away from those, but to come back with a skill set to be able to look at them and explore things with more wisdom and more embodied approaches has been really fruitful. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, that sort of brings me to the question of what made you want to be part of this particular summit.
Yeah, or I was really, something I'm so passionate about is giving people tools to become empowered and to go through that healing journey, and to move away from a paradigm of feeling pathologized, because it's very easy to feel like you're stuck, to feel like you're broken, that there's something wrong with you, that this is just the way it is, that pleasure and orgasm is for other people. And I really believe that it's the birthright of everybody, and that we can transform, and we can heal, we can evolve, and we can discover new dimensions about ourselves that are really empowering. And yeah, that's why I wanted to be part of it, and to bring pleasure into the conversation.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad. Okay, so that sort of brings us into one of our first talking points. And we were going to talk a little bit in the reclaiming of power and pleasure through the body about how to overcome shutdown and numbness. And I guess my first question to you is, you're an expert. What makes you an expert around this particular question of how to shutdown and numbness?
Yeah. And a lot of this, like, I had my own journey with this. Like when I left England and I went off on my travels, I realized very quickly how disconnected I'd been from my own pleasure. I'd been, as a lot of clients tell me, it's like I'm living from the neck up and everything. It was disconnected completely. And when I started going through my healing process and process of discovery, I realized at the heart of it was this disconnect from my sexuality and just this lack of self-love. And I was holding so much shame that I had all my life. And so that was a really big part of it. And
Can I interrupt just for 1 second? So I'm really curious about, how do you identify shame in the body?
Yeah. So for me, it would show up in a feeling like when arousal or desire kicked in, that flavor would start to arise, and then there would be this sense of feeling like I had to squash it down, like it wasn't okay. There was that there was a sense of being too much, and the only time I felt uninhibited was when I was on drugs or alcohol, and I was able to, and then I would swing way to an extreme and be very wild and uninhibited and do all kinds of things that I wouldn't have done if I was sober, because it was like there was an overcompensating that was happening. So it definitely wasn't healthy or integrated sexuality at all, and that's how it expressed itself for me.
You would start to feel a sense of pleasure, and immediately following that was like an overwhelming sense of something about it not being okay.
That it was wrong, that it was shameful, or there would be a lot of tension that would kick in, or that I would start to feel something, and then I'd just lose it, and it would just become a disconnect, and I'd just be off, and I wouldn't be able to get back to it. And that was something that happened a lot. And as I went on my own journey, and I discovered the world of deeper orgasms and cervical orgasms and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Everyone needs to know about this. So I started to train more deeply, and I started working with women, and I realized just how many people were just holding so much shame and trauma and guilt and all the different layers of this. It was really profound. And so over the years in my private practice and in my trainings and everything else, I realized that what's really important is to approach it through the body. It's not something you can approach with just the mind or just the head. And the amount of times people say to me, oh, it's just a book I can read.
I want a quick fix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I used to do internal body work for many years, and I stepped out of that because I realized so many people just wanted a quick fix, rather just wanting to come to someone and have them work on them for a couple of hours and then be told, right, you're good, go, you're fixed, and job done. Trauma's magically healed, and it doesn't work that way. And so, yeah, over the years, as I studied more in embodiment practices, and went deeper in that world, that's to me where the gold is. It's being able to find out how it feels to be able to stay regulated in your body, to be able to stay in the body and not fly off, and then be able to gradually, steadily increase your capacity to feel more pleasure and do it at a rate that feels good to you.
I love the way you're describing this, and it resonates so deeply for me. And it's also the journey that I went on, that I write about in my book. So everything you're saying hits right on the money. And I love how you talked about sort of starting, I'm going to use my own words here, but sort of starting where you are. And self-regulation, not everybody understands that term.
Yeah.
You want to just define that a little?
Yeah, so it's using whatever you can to, whether it's like you did in the grounding at the beginning, it's finding ways, simple ways to be in that to be in your the part of you, the safe zone. So, having tools and skills and little things you can access. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can focus on my breath, or I can just move my wrist or my ankle, and I can stay in my body. What is helping me to stay in a sense of feeling grounded, of feeling okay, that I'm not triggered, that my nervous system is feeling okay, and that I'm feeling relaxed, and I'm
relaxed. I think relaxed.
Relaxed.
Yeah. And then I hear what you're saying, and this is sort of what I practice too, is like anytime then I begin to notice that I've become unrelaxed, or I'm in my thoughts, or I'm I notice, and then I'm like, okay, well, what's going on in my body, and can I come back? It's not always
exactly. And as you say that, it really is, there's no force, it's not an efforting, it's not a pushing. And and I think particularly when it comes to sexuality, there is a lot of pressure, internalized pressure, or pressure from partners or from society, that it's supposed to look a certain way, or we're supposed to act a certain way, or this is what a sexually liberated person looks like. And that can put pressure on us to override those signals, or override our own boundaries, or to think, well, if I'm feeling really shut down, then maybe I need to go to the extreme and push through and have a peak experience. And often that can cause more damage in the long run. So it's not something that I recommend to my clients. It's like, you're better to go slow and steady and gentle. And
slow, steady, and gentle. Yeah, and especially since it's like when we have had our body boundary be violated in some way, and then there's that internalization of the shame, I think, which comes from feeling somehow like we deserve to be harmed in some way. Then I think what we do, we have that sort of we've internalized the oppression towards ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we become our own predator. It's kind of strong language, but we become the one then who we have to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even just that constant questioning of, oh, what am I really feeling? Or is this what I really want? Or am I okay with this? Or, oh, I'm not sure, so maybe I should just go along with this anyway. All of these things, yeah, it's a practice, and this is where we get to work the muscle slowly. Yeah.
Hey, work it, develop it, strengthen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it helps to have a partner, to be with somebody who's kind of in the game with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if you're exploring this on your own, to use this as a practice to start to discover what your boundaries are, and discover what your body's yes and no and maybe is. And that's a lot of the work I do with clients. And sometimes they'll come to me and they're like, yeah, I want all these orgasms and I'm ready to do all the work. And then we find there's a period where actually they're having less intimacy and less self-pleasure, because they're starting to listen to what that no is and honoring it. And that is a really profound, important part of the process as well. It's a real reclaiming of power, I see it
and
as.
Revelatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about the importance of going slow and establishing boundaries. Do you want to say anything more about that, Mangala?
I just, boundaries and this knowing your yes and your no, it can change in the moment. Something can feel good one moment, and then something happens, and suddenly there has been a trigger, or suddenly you have gone out of your body, or suddenly your partner came on with just a little bit too strong of a sexual energy, and it's made you feel overwhelmed, and what was right a couple of seconds ago is suddenly not feeling as right as it was, and that's okay. And that is okay, and it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to say yes and say no, and to practice that. And one of the things I really encourage my clients in relationships to do is to have a non-verbal cue as well as a verbal cue for if something's going off course, in case you freeze and the words can't come. That there's something you can do, whether it's a squeeze or a tap or something that they know to pause and to breathe and to check in and go, how are you doing?
Oh, I love that. It makes me feel weepy. And I also, as you were talking, I had this impulse to just hug you. Like I just so much. Yeah, the boundaries and going slow, and there was something I was going to say, and it's completely lost it, and that's fine. Let me just take a moment to pause, and actually give everybody a second just to pause and take in. Okay, yeah. So we've talked a little bit about overcoming shutdown and numbness, and we talked about that as, starting to have a practice of mindfulness in the body, becoming more embodied and really listening in. And part of that is this slowing down and the establishing of boundaries. And I know what I wanted to say. That video, when it was the talk about consent was really big. I think it was prior to the sort of the explosion of the Me Too, or it was in the beginning, of sex and consent and a cup of tea. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Reminded me so much of that when you were talking about that. Like one moment you're really enjoying your tea, and the next moment you've just had enough tea, or it's not tasting good to you anymore, and so you can put it down. And it's so interesting, because it's like so much of our training as women and men is that once we've begun to feel pleasure in our bodies, there's like this one pointed direction.
Yeah,
We're supposed to just go straight there.
exactly. And what it also becomes is, for a lot of the clients I work with, they found themselves almost in this, ended up being this like default race to orgasm, like, well, my partner's going to orgasm and I've got to kind of keep up, and they're going to feel disappointed if I don't experience that too, but it's not working for me, or I need longer, or whatever it is. And I think when we can take the goal off the table and take the pressure off and just actually come back to two humans connecting and being in the enjoyment of the tea, and use that, to sit and savor and enjoy the flavors and the sensation and all of the senses, just as a beautiful sacred moment of connection. This is where the magic then
Is, and
starts to unfold.
As you say that, it strikes me too that it's so helpful to have someone to support you in learning how to really do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
we can't all figure that out on our own. Sometimes we just need a person in our corner who can help us discover it, show us the way, show us what we know.
Absolutely. And we most of us have been brought up in societies that didn't prioritize female pleasure, or we weren't modeled or taught consent from an early age. And when I look at pleasure and I look at sexuality in the mainstream media, a lot of it is very much from the male perspective, and very much this take energy, and we're either giving something away or it's been snatched from us, and that's very disempowering. And we haven't been taught or socialized that it's okay to say no or to speak up on all these things. It's as we start to reclaim our power and our bodies and our pleasure, we're stripping away this conditioning.
Yeah, right. Millennia of patriarchal rule over our bodies, really.
Yeah.
It's like a procreation rule or something.
Yeah.
Partially, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that takes us into orgasmic confidence. What is it? How do we awaken it?
I love talking about this.
Oh, good.
So for me, this really comes down to being comfortable in the body first and foremost. It's learning what feels good in your body, and learning how to feel safe in your body, and then from there discovering new pathways to pleasure and discovering for yourself what feels good, so that you can communicate it to somebody else, and to be able to have those conversations, and to be able to course correct in the moment, and to be able to steer things in a direction that is nourishing and replenishing and enjoyable for both parties, so that it's easier to get your needs met. And for women, that means we often need longer. We need more foreplay. We need a bit more slowness. We need more sense of safety and surrounds and other senses involved, and there's all kinds of things. And also, it's, for me, I'm really passionate about giving women the tools to discover the deeper orgasms internally, like G-spot and cervical orgasms, because they're very physically and emotionally satisfying. And as you start to awaken the pathways to those in your body, there is a clearing of numbness inside, and of letting go of stuff gently, and waking up pleasure that you never even thought your body was capable of experiencing. And it's like you're completely in it. It's like body, heart, mind, soul is all aligned and all connected, and that's what I want everyone to be able to experience. And when you feel good in your body, you don't care what you think you look like, and those superficial things start to drop away. So I often get clients will start to say to me things like, oh, I've actually started to, for the first time ever, I've been able to initiate intimacy with my partner, or I've never done this before, but I've started going on top, and I found that that's really pleasurable and enjoyable for me. But I didn't want to do that before because I felt too insecure about how I looked or how I thought I looked. And this is where we start to let go of the inhibitions and drop those old stories. And as I say, it comes through the body and not through the mind. But we get to unwind that and get to feel confident. And that has amazing implications in the rest of our lives. So it's not just whatever is showing up in the bedroom is like a microcosm of what's going on in the rest of life often. Because
as I hear that, I think of it almost like our capacity for feeling turned on to being alive.
Yeah, this is like eros and whatever turn on, sexual energy, all of it is just life force. It's just this current of energy, and that's when we can actually recognize that and that it's not something shameful or dangerous. We can enjoy it in a healthy way that is harmonious. It's very nourishing, and it's life. It's fuel for life, for creativity, for work projects, for money coming in. I've just had one of my clients has just signed 5 new clients since she's awakened cervical orgasms. It's incredible to see. It's lovely. And she's also the relationship with her teenage daughter has totally changed because she's just more confident in herself, and it's shifting the whole family dynamic. So yeah, it affects everything.
Yes. Love this. I am just guessing that there may be viewers listening right now who, as they hear us talk a little bit about awakening orgasmic confidence and deeper orgasms, that they may even be feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
That coming up.
Yeah.
If that is, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I would say that's very normal and natural, and is something I hear 90% of the time from people. Like, oh, I'm not built that way, or that's not something I'll ever get to experience, or that feels a million miles away from where I'm at right now. And so I don't want to, when I talk about all these deeper orgasms and everything else, I just want you to know that I just want to plant a seed that is possible for you. And it might not be right now, but as you said at the beginning, it's like we start with where we're at right now. And I'm a real believer in baby steps and taking things slow, going at the pace of your body, your nervous system, with your lifestyle, and it's like, how can you take small bite-sized practices or little reframes, little tools, little techniques that you can implement in your life that might only take 10 minutes a day, that are going to start to help you feel more connected to your body, start to increase your capacity to feel more pleasure, and really gently, and maybe not even in a sexual way to start with. It's just pleasure in a general sense, enjoying a cup of tea or some lovely chocolate or a beautiful sunset or whatever it is. Expanding capacity for pleasure in all areas of life is a really great inroad into this. So there's many things that can be done right from where you are right now, and at the same time, you're not broken. You don't need fixing, and just baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah. I feel like we could talk for a long time. And I'm just so glad. I feel so honored to have had this time to explore some of this with you. It's like the tip of an enormous iceberg, and the potential here is just giant for all of us, really, to just love living in the body that we're in. Yeah. So you have a free gift.
I do.
Offer people who are listening right now. Do you want to tell us about that?
It's a 3-part video series, a free series. It's called From Shutdown to Sensual Satisfaction. And so you'll get it if you sign up for it, you get an email every day that's really short, simple, bite-sized practices that you can literally take 5 minutes a day to do. They're just going to help you with these baby steps, help you feel more in the body, give you some simple tools to let go of some of the overwhelm and to feel more centered in your body, so that you can start this journey to experiencing more sensuality in your system.
I couldn't think of a more perfect gift at the end of our time here, based on what we've been talking about. It's just right. So before we end this conversation completely, I want to just remind viewers that if you're here for the free 48-hour access to the videos, welcome. So glad to have you. If this talk or any other talks feel like something that you would like to be able to go back and watch again or explore, please consider buying now while the price is low. We know how it works, and just really glad to have you here. Mangala Holland, a deep pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Marcy. It's been an honor and a delight and a pleasure to connect with you and the viewers. Thank you.